The first season of The Flash has come to an end, and it was packed with tons of Easter eggs, references, and trivia from the comic books. There was a lot in there, but these are the 11 coolest things that we found. Let's start with two big ones that came at the end of the first episode when we got a look at Dr. Wells' futuristic newspaper. First, we saw a story about a merger between Queen Incorporated and Wayne Tech. Wayne Tech? That's Bruce Wayne's company, who we all know as Batman. This means that while we might not see Batman anytime soon, if ever, he does exist in this show's world. Also, there's a reference to how the Flash went missing in a crisis, as well as a separate story about red skies. This is a reference to the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic from 1985, which spanned DC's multiverse and resulted in the death of Barry Allen. There's a scene where Dr. Wells lists off people who apparently died in the particle accelerator explosion, all of whom are costume heroes from the comics. Ralph Dibny, the Elongated Man, Faye DaCosta, Fire, Al Rothstein, Atom Smasher, Grant Emerson, Damage, and Will Everett, the Amazing Man. There are quite a few references to the people who have worked on the Flash comics over the years. The location Wade Boulevard is a tribute to writer Mark Waid, 4th and Collins to artist Scott Collins, and Porter and Main to artist Howard Porter. We also see the Conway Award in Dr. Stein's collection, a nod to Firestorm creator Jerry Conway. The original Flash TV series aired in 1990, and several of the actors have made an appearance on the new show. Mark Hamill reprised his role as the Trickster, and so did Amanda Pays for Dr. Tina McGee, and Vito D'Ambrosio for Mayor Tony Bellows. And the original Flash himself, John Wesley Shipp, came back to play Barry's father, Henry Allen. During Barry's conversation with Gideon, where he learns about the future, she says he's the founding member of, but then she gets cut off. Thanks to a comic used to tease that episode, we know that her next word was going to be justice, which is a reference to the Justice League. Speaking of the Justice League, the golden mural at the Central City Precinct features 7 Greek gods that correlate to the 7 members of the team. After Barry died in the comics, Wally West became the new Flash. We've actually already met Wally's eventual wife, Linda Park. Interestingly, in the New 52 Flash comic, Wally was re-envisioned as biracial. Given that Iris and Joe West are part of Wally's extended family, it appears the showmakers could be preparing to introduce a New 52 version. We saw Cisco use a visor to view a parallel universe, and Dr. Wells revealed to him that this is because he's a metahuman. Between the goggles and his power to affect the vibrations of the multiverse, this is a clear setup for him to become the superhero Vibe. When the Speed Force portal opens, the helmet of Mercury skids across the floor. That helmet belongs to Jay Garrick, the original Flash. While inside the Speed Force portal, Barry sees a few key images. One is of the Flash Museum, which chronicles the hero's history and has a collection of artifacts and costumes. Another shows Barry in prison, which could be a setup for The Trial of the Flash, a comic where the villain Abracadabra gets him falsely arrested for murder. And the big one is Caitlin. We finally see her transformed into her villainous, ice-powered alter ego from the comics, Killer Frost. Finally, I've saved my favorite for last. We've heard about and seen Ferris Air for a while now, but in a throwaway line, it's mentioned that one of their test pilots went missing. This is a nod to Hal Jordan, the space cop superhero known as Green Lantern. They can't do an awesome setup like that and not put him in the show, unless they're trying to make me cry. And those are our favorite comic references from Season 1 of The Flash. For a full list of all the stuff we found, check out our Flash Wiki. And for everything on The Flash, keep it right here on IGN.